And welcome to all you strong girls. It's okay if you're not a Girl Scout. We are glad you're joining us. My shirt says, "Never underestimate the power of a girl with a book." So we're sharing books about strong women and strong girls with you, plus some fun rhymes. I'm Lowry, Miss Lowry.
I'm Ellie.
And thanks for joining us while you're stuck at home. Couple quick reminders. 3 things to do every day. Do a good turn daily. That's what the Girl Scouts do. So yesterday, what did a neighbor do for us?
They brought over toilet paper.
Brought us toilet paper because we were totally out of toilet paper. Think about something that you can do today to help someone else, even if it's just in your house. And number 2, learn something new every day. What did we learn yesterday?
We learned about St. Patrick.
We read about St. Patrick since it was St. Patrick's Day. Learn something new. Today you're going to learn something new about Hellen Keller. And I'm going to give you some fun activities. You can learn all kinds of things at home about Hellen Keller. And make something. We're going to give you a craft idea. Who are the girls that made the other day? They drew beautiful pictures of daisies.
Amaria and Kate.
Yay, Amaria and Katie, thanks for sending in those cute daisy pictures. We also want to remind you about some of our favorite podcasts for learning and being entertained at home. Brains On is a really fun kind of science-y one for kids. Science, is that what it is? Yep, we like that one. Ellie, you like this one? What is it called?
Wow in the World.
Wow in the World, it's fun. Story Pirates is a really fun storytelling one. What's this one?
Smash Boom Best it's a debate podcast.
Smash Boom Best. Oh, debates for kids. And this one I think is really important right now. It's a great relaxation meditation podcast for kids, but good for grown-ups too. It's called Peace Out. I really like it. Okay, let's teach you a new rhyme. All kinds of good stuff in this book. And we'll teach you something out of it every day, or you can order it and teach us something. But here's another hand rhyme to do. And of course, we've washed our hands, and we're only doing it with the people in our family. It goes, C-C-O, playmate. Okay, well, let me talk you through it. So it's swing, in, clap, and then right, left, 2 claps, and then back, front. Okay, let's try. C-C-O, playmate, come out and play with me. Clap, clap, and bring your dollies 3. Clap, clap, climb up my apple tree. Clap, clap, slide down my rainbow. Look, thrilled Ellie. Into my cellar door, clap, clap, and we'll be jolly friends, clap, clap, forevermore, more, shut the door. Awesome. So even if you can't play with your friends, you can find somebody at home to do that. Okay, so this book is about Hellen Keller, such an inspirational person who overcame so much. So after you read this, you'll know you can make it through this pandemic. I Am Hellen Keller by Brad Meltzer. Cute pictures by Christopher Eliopoulos. Wonder what you already know about Hellen Keller. I am Hellen Keller. When I was little, I was just like you. I loved to play. I loved my dog. And I loved seeing all the bright, beautiful flowers. I also loved copying people. At 6 months old, I could already say,
Howdy. Howdy yourself. T. Did she just ask for tea? How'd she do that?
What can I say? There's no stopping her. On the day I turned 1, I started walking. Oh, and there was another word I always loved.
Wah. Here's your water.
Just like any other kid, right? But there's one thing that made me different. When I was 19 months old, I got very sick. The doctors said I wouldn't live. I did live, but the sickness made me blind and deaf. This is how I see the world. Close your eyes and block your ears. I couldn't see anything or hear anything. That's right, nothing. I know it seems scary. It was scary for me too. Back then, people didn't know how to deal with someone who was deaf and blind. My relatives thought I was a monster.
You see the way she behaves? She put her hand in my plate. She ate my food. Wah, wah, wah. She's trying to find her water. She threw the silverware too. She's so poorly behaved. She shouldn't be here.
They were right. I wasn't well behaved. I was extremely frustrated. In my dark world, I couldn't tell if anyone noticed me or cared about me. I couldn't see or hear what I was doing. But by the time I was 5, I'd figured out small ways to communicate. To say yes, I nodded my head. For no, I shook it from side to side. To say father, I motioned to put on his glasses. For mother, I rested my hand on my face. For my baby sister, I did this. And when I'd shiver like I was cold, it really meant...
Helen wants ice cream.
But even with those signs, I couldn't get my dog Belle to play with me. I didn't know how to speak, so I couldn't call her. I just wanted to play with my dog. The saddest part was I got used to a dark and silent world. People told my parents to give up on me, that I'd never be good at anything. They didn't listen, though. Thank goodness. After reading about another blind and deaf girl, my parents found something they hadn't had since I'd gotten sick. Hope.
This says there are places that teach deaf and blind children. That's what she needs. She needs a teacher.
We all do. Everyone needs a teacher. Still, I had no idea what the world was about to bring me. I never had a more important day. I was 6 years old. From the way my mother was hurrying, I knew something big was coming. I stood on the porch, waiting, feeling the sun on my face. Someone approached. I could feel footsteps. I reached out, thinking it was my mother. She pulled me into her arms. Her name was Anne Sullivan. She's the teacher who changed my life. In one of her first lessons, she gave me a toy doll. After letting me play with it, she spelled the word doll into the palm of my hand.
D-O-L-L. Can you feel the letters?
I could feel them, but I didn't know what letters or words even were or how they worked. It didn't stop Miss Sullivan. One day we were arguing as she was trying to teach me the words mug and water. I got so upset I took my new doll and smashed it on the ground. I got angry a lot back then. It was so hard for me. I was frustrated. Never losing her patience, my teacher took me outside. At a nearby spout, she put my hand under the running water. In my other hand, she spelled the word water.
W-A-T-E-R.
Then she spelled it again.
W-A-T-E-R.
And again.
W-A-T-E-R.
And again.
W-A-T-E-R.
And again.
W-A-T-E-R.
And again.
W-A-T-E-R.
W-A-T-E-R. W-A-T-E-R. W-A-T-E-R. You understand, don't you? You understand. I understood. From there, I realized that everything had a name. Every object I touched seemed to burst to life.
Mother, table, lamp, father, sister, teacher, dog.
And now when I wrote words in my teacher's hand, I had someone who could understand me. When you're learning something new, it's often hard. I started with words. My vocabulary grew fast. Eventually, I learned the meaning of the word love. I had given my teacher some flowers, so she spelled into my hand
I love Hellen.
Confused, I asked her.
What is love?
It is here, she spelled while tapping at my heart. I was still confused. It was hard to understand something I couldn't touch. It made no sense. Why couldn't my teacher show me love? But then she explained.
You can't touch clouds, but you can feel rain, and you know how happy flowers are to get watered. That is how love is. You can't touch love, but you can feel how happy it makes you.
There, in that moment, my whole world changed. It was as if there were invisible lines that stretched between me and everyone else in my life. Close your eyes. You can feel it too. Your connection to your family and friends. Still, life was never easy. Without sight, I couldn't see people's faces. Without sound, I couldn't hear their voices. But one of my greatest breakthroughs came when I learned to do what you're doing right now. Reading.
Read without eyes? How's she gonna do that? You'll read with your fingers. On this cardboard, you'll feel raised dots. The dots make letters. The letters make words. This is the word for doll.
To practice, I'd match each word with its object and make sentences. This was my favorite game. We played it for hours. See if you can find the sentence. Girl
is in wardrobe. Book is falling. Teacher is proud. Doll is on bed. Dog is smelly. Sister is pooping. Flowers on desk.
From there, I started reading real books, just like you. The only difference was my books were in Braille, which is a series of raised dots that you read with your fingers. At first, it just feels bumpy, right? Then you get used to it. These dots spell my name. Hellen. Want to read your name in Braille? Here's the alphabet. Run your pointer finger over the letters. Then close your eyes. There you go. Now you're reading just like me. So let's spell Ellie's name.
E-L-L-I-E.
Cool. To make reading even more fun, my teacher took me outside. She knew I loved feeling the sun on my face and smelling the pine needles. I read my books so many times, I wore down the raised dots. There were the Arabian Nights, Robinson Crusoe, and one of my favorites, Little Women. In those pages, I met brave boys and girls who could hear and see.
I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning how to sail my ship.
One of Miss Sullivan's best lessons came when she showed me how plants grow.
Feel the buds. Some buds open fast, others open slowly. A flower can only bloom if it's watered.
When I was 9 years old, I wanted to learn how to speak. Even Miss Sullivan was worried about teaching me. She thought I'd get frustrated, but nothing would stop me now. To help me, Miss Sullivan took me to a teacher named Sarah Fuller, who would put my hand to her face and let me feel her tongue and lips as she made each sound.
Yes, Hellen, feel each sound, like the vibrating strings on a piano.
In an hour, I learned the letters M, P, A, S, T, and I, so she could say,
Ma.
Now I could call my dog and she'd come to me. At my 7th lesson, I spoke this sentence, the one sentence that I'd repeat over and over.
I am not dumb now.
Back then, people used this word dumb to mean someone who couldn't speak. It's not a very nice word to use now, but we know that it doesn't even mean stupid because even when Hellen couldn't speak, she was so intelligent. But that's what she wanted people to know. I am not dumb now. She could speak now. As I got older, I didn't just learn to speak English. I even learned French and German. For college, I wanted to go to Radcliffe at Harvard University.
Maybe she should just wait another year. Deaf and blind people don't go to college. I am going. I wouldn't argue. There's no stopping her.
At Harvard, most of my books weren't available in Braille, so Miss Sullivan spelled out many of the textbooks in my hand. That's how much I loved learning, and that's how patient and selfless Miss Sullivan was. I became the first deaf and blind person to earn a college degree. I wouldn't be the last. As I grew older, I wrote 14 books and visited 39 countries. But the most important thing I did was to make sure that other people with disabilities could get the same education I had.
There she is. She sounds so strong. My family had the money to hire a private teacher. Not everyone is that lucky. We need to give every person an equal chance. Today, thousands of deaf and blind students enroll in universities thanks to the work Hellen did. Riding a horse? How does she do that?
That was only the beginning. I didn't just help the deaf and blind. I started fighting for social change, to help women vote, to help the poor survive, and to help people who needed it most.
She was one of the earliest supporters of the ACLU to fight for free speech. She was also a supporter of the NAACP to help black people get equal rights as well. She met every president from Grover Cleveland to Lyndon Johnson. But let's be honest, they met her.
Today, the American Foundation for the Blind and Hellen Keller International continue to help the blind and the hungry. In my life, they said I was different. They said I'd never be normal. But the truth is, there's no such thing as a normal life. Every one of us is like a flower that must be watered. Every one of us is full of potential, and every one of us can overcome obstacles. Look at me. Hear my words. I may not be able to see, but I have vision. I may not be able to hear, but I have a voice. Think of your life as a hill that must be climbed. There's no correct path to get to the top. We all zigzag in our own ways. At some point, you'll slip, you'll fall, you'll tumble back down again. But if you get back up and keep climbing, I promise you.
She's the first statue in the U.S. Capitol that's of a child. I really want to know, how do you do all that stuff? I just decided I could.
I promise you, you will reach the top. Don't let anything hold you back. Our lives are what we make of them. There will always be obstacles, but there will always be ways around them. I am Hellen Keller, and I won't let anything stop me.
Oh, and one last thing. Go say thank you to that teacher who helped you when you needed it most.
Hellen Keller said, "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched, but just felt in the heart." Here's a picture of her when she was 8 with her teacher, Ann Sullivan. And here's her dog, Belle. And here she is feeling Eleanor Roosevelt talking. What an amazing person. The end.
So for your Make Something, you can make a Braille card with the Braille alphabet that Miss Lowry will send a picture of. And you can write your name, or you can write any word. I wrote love. And if you can make it pop up with things around your house like beans or rice, or if you have stickers like this, you can do that.
Or little jewels you can glue on. Cool. Thanks, Sally. Okay, so we want to show you something else you can do at home, another new thing to learn. This would have been the alphabet that Ann Sullivan taught Hellen Keller, and it's something that you can learn too. So I'm going to show you on Ellie's hands, and I'm also going to post a picture of the alphabet so you can practice it at home. Of course, wash your hands very well before you touch someone else's hand. But the idea is that you are making the letters on their hand, and they are feeling it, so they can even practice closing their eyes to feel the letters. At least try your name. Okay, I'm going to turn it around. Okay, so all the vowels are on the fingers. A, E, I, O, and U. So you just touch someone's hand there. And I'll go through the alphabet. A, B, C. You outline a C there. D, E, F, G, H, I. Outline a J. K is the ASLK on the with the knuckle. K, L. See if I remember M. Yeah, M, N, A, E, I, O. P. You pinch there. P. Q. You kind of just hook your finger and pull the thumb. Q. This is R. S is a hook. S. T. A, E, I, O, U. I always have to do that. U, V, W, X, Y, and Z is the stop. Z, because it's the end. So try it with your name at home. So thanks for learning with us about Hellen Keller, who's just amazing. And if you take time to do some of those activities, let us know. And if you're a Girl Scout, we'll get you a special Hellen Keller patch. Our next story time is going to be about another amazing woman who overcame obstacles and grew up to do amazing things. She was an Olympic runner who won lots of gold medals, and her name is Wilma Rudolph. We're going to learn about her since we're thinking about hopefully we'll get to have Summer Olympics. Whether or not, we're going to learn about Wilma Rudolph. And I wanted to show you, messy hair. These are my fun swaps. Think of some fun swaps you could do at home, and we'll talk about more swap ideas for making it home. And we could have a big swap meet in our service unit later on once we're all able to get together again. Okay, peace.